The big political story on the program tonight, on the 125th anniversary of Baba Saheb Ambedkar, every political party wants to appropriate the man who gave independent India our constitution. But the fact of the matter is that as Ambedkar is reduced to a political battlefield, the death of one young man, Rohith Vemula, continues to shadow the conversation not just around Ambedkar but also the larger conversation around caste. That message coming home today when Rohith's brother Raja and his mother Radhika converted to Buddhism in a decision that his brother described as azadi from the chains of the caste system. A decision that of course has larger political implications as well. On the buck stops here today as we debate who can really lay claim to the legacy of Ambedkar. Can any political party actually appropriate the great man? Let's first go across straight to Rohith's brother Raja. Rohith's mother Radhika is also with us, and Prakash Ambedkar, who of course is Baba Saheb Ambedkar's grandson. Let me start with you, Raja. What made you decide to do this? After all, the identity of your brother as a Dalit student who had been driven to suicide in what his friends called institutional murder because they said he was forced to do it, was at the heart of the conversation around his, what happened to him very tragically. Why did you decide to embrace Buddhism?
Evening to all. We had decided to take Diksha when he was alive only. On November, he came to home and he said about the caste discrimination in the university. And he said that Buddhism teaches casteless society, and it says that everyone is equal. So my brothers was willing to take Buddhism Diksha officially, but he could not make it. So we the family decided to take Buddhism Diksha to fulfill my brother's dream. He dreamed it off.
But Raja, can I ask you, in a very moving statement, you have called it an azadi from the chains of the caste system, and you've also said that we will be truly free from the shame and the daily humiliation. We are starting a life of dignity, life outside the Hindu caste system. Give us a sense, of course, apart from what happened to your brother, which is horrifying and continues to, in a sense, grab national attention, of what this shame and daily humiliation has felt like. Why did you feel you needed to step outside of Hinduism? Because there are those who say that we should argue for reform within Hinduism. There are also people who say this. So what made you feel that your dignity lay outside of the Hindu fold?
Because we have taken this step because we have to come out of this Hinduism ideology, and because we faced discrimination since our childhood, and we have gone through all the problems what Dalit can go through. So we don't want to be victimized, like because of this caste system. So that's why we have decided. And my brothers are willing us to take Buddhism, and we personally approached the Buddhist Society of India to help us to take Buddhism.
Prakash ji, you have in the past spoken about a casteless society. You've even spoken about how school leaving certificates should not have the caste of a Dalit student. But the fact is that, when you look at what happened to Rohith, do you not believe that caste identity continues to be at the heart of our political fault lines, our social fault lines, that there is no escaping caste, that even with the decision of Radhika and Raja to embrace Buddhism, caste identity in a deeply hierarchical and unequal society will continue to follow them?
So you see, caste is an identity. Yes, it's a true fact. But does it mean that we should live with it? One. Second, should we allow caste to dictate our future? Does caste allow the nation to remain divided? If it allows nation to be divided, then it has to be addressed head along. It is not that just because people believe that caste is there, we should allow it to remain as it is. I have set a process in motion where caste can be slowly eradicated from the society where I have said that let's begin with the school living certificate. That in this fight of having a casteless society, I can understand the Dalits not joining me in this fight because they have the reservation which is based on caste. But you have the forward caste where they don't have any reservation. I am asking them, what is the necessity of carrying along the caste? Why do you need caste? Do you need caste or do you need nation? Decide for yourself. Because today, as Raja has said it, that it is his own liberation. There is 25% of the population who are living in inhuman conditions under the caste system. Now, if they decide that we don't want the caste system and they decide to revolt, what we are going to have? We are going to have a social unrest, and that social unrest will have what I may call it a little bloodshed.
Yes.
But does the society wants a bloodshed? Because now nobody is ready to be subjugated to others.
So that's it. That's
Slowly by slowly they have started revolting.
Yes.
And what we are now trying,
you're making a very
what we are now trying to bring about
yes,
is
yes.
a change in both sides.
Yes, and an interesting point from you,
It's
an interesting point, Prakash Ambedkar.
Change in both sides.
Yes, I understand, and you're saying that even if Dalits do not want to remove their names from school leaving certificates, why not the so-called forward or the upper caste? It's an important point, but I want to talk a little bit about Rohith and the statement that Raja made today. Raja, you brought up Prime Minister Modi, you brought up Smriti Irani, the HRD minister, you brought up Venkaiah Naidu, and you actually called them, the word you used was political culprits. What is your expectation of the Modi government, and don't you also feel that your brother's very, very tragic death is now being politicized by all the political parties, that every political party wants wants to use Rohith to further their own political ambition?
I don't think people came forward for their political identity. So what we feel is they came to show their solidarity. If they wanted to show their politics, and that is their problem, that's not our problem. So they came to show solidarity and they came to help us. So we welcome each and everyone to come forward and help us to get justice for my brother's death.
And what would you like to say to the Prime Minister and the government this evening, Raja?
So I would like to ask Prime Minister directly that why don't you talk, why don't you state any code and what's going on in the University of Hyderabad, and there the students are beaten brutally who are raising their voice for the justice of Rohith Vemula. So you want to suppress them or you want to help them? Because one side you are saying that you are following Ambedkar ideology, and the other side you are trying to suppress the people who are Dalits and who are they are raising their voice in the institution. And I just want to ask Modi ji, if you please clear and what you want to do exactly. And then I ask, we have a small hope on Prime Minister ji that he may help, he may give some justice to us. We should believe in him.
So you've of course spoken about the Prime Minister intervening, and you want the Vice Chancellor of Hyderabad University removed and a proper probe into Rohith's death. Prakash Ambedkar, the political competitiveness around your grandfather's legacy, how do you see that?
See, I don't see this as a competitiveness in the first place. I see a fear psychosis working within the society and within the political parties. And for bringing about this fear psychosis, I blame the RSS. Or I may put it in other words, bringing Dr. Ambedkar into focus again, the credit goes to RSS. Because RSS is not, the RSS came on the platform that they will come and they will do development of the country and give employment to the younger generation of the country. But none of that has happened. But what has happened is they have brought in their own agenda. And their own agenda is based on Manusmurti, where caste gets the prominence. The religion becomes the state religion. And those who are not Hindus, they are treated as foreigners, which have already been expressed. Either they will have to merge or they will have to be extinguished. That is what their formula is. They have now started implementing their formula in some of the states where they have powers, like saying that those who have not passed 10th standard will not be entitled to contest the election. Those who do not have a toilet will not be able to contest the election. So a segregation of a society has already started. Where it will end, it is the RSS who only knows it and none else. This behavior, or you can say the theory of the RSS, has created fear psychosis among the non-RSS forces, and therefore each political party is now trying to appropriate Dr. Ambedkar and say that we are following Dr. Ambedkar, and with Dr. Ambedkar's ideology we are going to beat the RSS as far as differences are concerned.
Right. So that's interesting.
To put it in short, I will say
yes,
the RSS is heading the RSS is heading towards dictatorship, and these political parties would like to see democracy being a part of our life. RSS is leading towards enslavement of a society, and they would like to see that the society remains open and independent. So this is basically what we are heading for, a polarization within the Indian society.
Right.
And the citizen of this country will have to take a stand, and either they want dictatorship or either they want democracy. This is the situation which is developing, and therefore I don't see any political angle to it, but rather I see an ideological divide taking place in the society, wherein under fear psychosis these political parties have now started appropriating Dr. Baba Saheb.
Strong words, and we will put your words to our RSS representative on the panel in a moment from now. But Raja, just a last question. Raja, just a last question to you. You said your brother dreamt about you, wanted you to complete a PhD. What are your dreams today for yourself? You yourself have been looking for an appropriate job. What is the last thing, what would your brother have wanted you to do? Your last thoughts today. And also if your mother would like to say something.
My brother wanted me to complete my PhD, personal PhD in abroad. So he shown his interest to send me abroad, and just before 4 or 5 days he is going to commit suicide. So he said that he will send some money, and I can book a slot for GRE and TOEFL coaching for abroad entrance for the abroad universities. So my brother wanted me to become a scientist, and even I also wanted to become a scientist. I just wanted to do a PhD in my subject.
Yes.
And even my mom also wanted us to become a scientist, and she wants us to be called as Dr. Rohith and Dr. Raja. So this is her decision. She sent us to school with that intention only.
Right. And so, of course, Rohith's death and the decision that your family has taken today continues to, in a sense, shadow the conversation on Ambedkar Jayanti. We thank Prakash Ambedkar, Radhika and Raja. Thank you so much for joining us on the Buck Stops here.
Thank you.